Hello, welcome and thank you for being here today. I'm Colin from Colin Tutor Flowers, and today we're going to be making a bridal bouquet using some wild daisies here. So let's get started. So I picked these out the garden, but they grow all along the sides of the roads this time of year. There's masses and masses of them, these oxeye daisies here. And they are actually not great cut flowers. They have nice long stems, but as you can see, they're a bit sort of straggly they have these sort of upward facing flowers. They're kind of not quite straight, they're sort of crooked. So for a bouquet, they're not really ideal. They'd perhaps be nice for a pinholder arrangement where everything was sort of loose and floppy. But I think they would be lovely for a bridal bouquet. And I don't think it's, to say, well, you're just going to do a bridal bouquet of wildflowers, I think that would be quite difficult to predict what's available and to do a whole bouquet out of wildflowers. So I'm going to incorporate these into the design, but I've got some orange spray roses and some freesias and some coral spurge. This is also out of the garden. And originally I thought I was going to make a base out of the coral spurge and arrange the daisies into the base, but I just had a quick go just putting it together in my hands. It wasn't really working. So I think what I'm going to do is just a classic hand tie, and I think that will be the best way to make the use of the plant material. Now this coral spurge, I must just warn you, it's got sticky, milky sticky sap in it, which some people are allergic to, and it can sort of make your skin itchy. So you do need to properly condition the stems. And I've put out a little reel on Instagram and TikTok just showing you how to do that, if you'd like to find out about that there. So these, I love these. They have this lovely flat shape on the heads, and they're lovely for arranging flowers into the heads, and that's what struck me about with these oxeye daisies. I thought we could pull these down because they've got flat flowers. They would sit into these flat heads of the euphorbia quite nicely. So let's just get started there with just putting them down. Now there's some quite big gaps there. Perhaps I ought to do one of these big open bouquets, I don't know, well, with this. So there we are. So they what I'm going to do is just pull the, I've got to pull these up, but just pull them down so they're sitting in the euphorbia heads. So I've got some lovely spray roses here. I've just trimmed off the buds that were just at the side of the stems, and I think this is, I'm just going to hold this quite, feels like I need to hold it quite tightly in my hand. So I don't think this is going to take long now. Now we're doing the hot hand tie. It's a nice quick way to arrange your flowers, and just using the coral spurge there to support the blooms. So this coral spurge is a very common garden plant, but I don't see it available commercially, and I wonder if it's something to do with the milky sap, that they don't want to, people complaining that they've, they've had sort of this, that they've, people complaining that they've had skin rashes and things, and it caused by the flowers. So that might be why they don't, it's not available commercially. But I noticed that there is a thing called bupleurium, which I have tried to grow in the garden, and I cannot get it to germinate. But I think that is quite a similar thing, and that's quite widely available in the florist trade, and will work equally as well. So there we are. So I think this is going to be quite a loose and a casual design with these daisies here. So I've got a little bit of a hole there. I don't know if there's a gap down there. So I'm just sort of looking for something I can slip in there to fill that gap. There we are. Just pull that in. Oh, that looks much better now. So and then pulling down the oxeye daisies, pulling them down into the coral spurge. So yes, the coral spurge is quite sort of gappy, so perhaps that's why people in the florist trade use the bupleurium, because it's a bit more sort of predictable for a large bouquet. So there we are. So this is quite a striking colour here with this orange and white. I mean, it's a very, very bold and bright colour. So obviously this isn't going to do, if you're having a a white wedding with sort of blush, off-white or something like that, this absolutely is not going to work for you. But if you want a nice bright colourful bouquet with some nice bright colours, this would be absolutely ideal. So so I've got plenty of spray roses there, and I usually count the spray roses into the bouquet to make sure that I've got an odd number, but I haven't done it this time, and I think it's because they're quite wide and spread out, so I don't think you need to sort of worry about it so much. So there we are, so these are going in, and there's so many of these about at the moment. It'd be lovely to be able to do sort of 2 or 3 different designs with the daisies. So yeah, so it's coming out, I've got quite a tightly packed dome shape, and that's exactly what we need, well, what I'm going for with these daisies, to just so they can sit flat onto the top of the design there. So another approach, like I said, would be to have them wide apart, have a very sort of loose open design, but I'm going for something quite tight and compact here. So and I'm just again looking for gaps and just filling them with the daisies. Now I need to make sure that if this use up any big pieces of the bupleurium, so I'm calling it bupleurium, the coral spurge, I need to use those up first because they won't go in the design at the end. So there's these quite big pieces. That's going to be a bit tricky to get that in. So I'm going to put those in now. I should have used those up in the first place, to be honest. But never mind. So let's get them in now. There we are. Lovely, lovely limey green colour. Sort of goes, one of these things that sort of goes with it is a goes with anything colour. You could use this in lots of different designs. It goes with pink and blue and purple and all sorts of colours. So it's a really, really good thing to have. So there we are. So I just want to get that last piece in there. So, right, so that's looking a bit lopsided to me. It looks like we've got a row down there. So I've got a row of the spray roses going across there. That wasn't intentional at all. So that's okay, but we just need to be aware of that, and that's got to be corrected to get rid of that line. So what I'm going to do is put another one just there. So I'm breaking up the line now. I don't think you can see now that there's a line going across there. So that looks a bit better, and so just another one in there. So perhaps this is a little bit small at the moment for a bridal bouquet. It might be something maybe more for a bride. But I think this would work with, maybe if you're having a coral wedding, that would work with a coral wedding dress. So anyway, some more bupleurium. These daisies don't seem to be going very far. I feel as if I've put quite a lot in there. Oh, but they are slipping down into the design, so just pull that one up. That's just sliding them in. It's just pulling it down into the design. There we are. Some more of these. Oh, so that looks much better. Like that. And so people are having weddings again now. So I don't know if any of you are doing your own wedding flowers, but this might be something that you would like to try. And obviously with the oxeye daisies, you could practice this beforehand if you're a bit unsure, rather than waiting to the day and sort of going out and picking your flowers. There's a huge supply of like free flowers basically, so you could quite easily go out and have a go, try a few different things, see what works, and then it might give you a bit more confidence for the day. There we are. So that's nearly done. I've got some more roses there. I'm not sure if that will be sort of a bit too much. I've actually forgotten the freesias, so we better get some freesias worked in there. They could go around the side, couldn't they? So now the freesias, because they've got this sort of, I do rather like this the way the flower buds. You have this sort of I don't know what you call it, sort of pointy bit. But if that went into the bouquet, you'd have all these pointy bits sticking out over the top, and you'd have to go over the bouquet and do it sort of evenly all over the bouquet. But I think if they go around the edge we can have these little sort of tails, you might call them, just poking out, just pointing outwards, and adding a little delicate touch. Actually, that looks rather nice round the edge of the bouquet. So just work these freesias in round the side. That's lovely. The fragrance now is absolutely beautiful. So I think that's a lovely thing. If you can have freesias in a bouquet, that's really nice to be able to just have that fragrance. Is really a lovely thing. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 around the edge. So that's a nice odd number. And then just those little tails just curling round there. So I think that's nearly finished. I think I could sort of fiddle about with it a bit, but there's something there. We could put another one in there. And so you can arrange the flowers straight into the coral spurge. It's not like if you've got a bloom, you can just poke things straight down into it. That's it, just to fill up any gaps. So I think we're nearly finished there. So that was quite a quick design. I'm conscious that sometimes I do these videos and they do become rather long. So I was trying to do a shorter video today. So that's a nice quick design there. But I think that's more or less finished there. Yeah, I'm quite so I've just seen a little bit there. This is where I just need to pull up the daisies. They're just dropping down into the design. So I've just got a few more bits. Just use up those last bits of spurge on the outside there. Just cover that up around the edge there. And there we are, very bright and cheerful bouquet there. I think that would be lovely for a wedding, perhaps with tied up a nice bit of ribbon around it. And there's only 1, 2, 3, 4 different flowers in there. So you could perhaps have one more thing in there, some tiny dainty little thing, just to finish it off. And that would be a really lovely bridal bouquet. So I'll take some photos at the end just to show you the finished thing. And thank you for watching. And so that was a bridal bouquet made with oxide daisies. Please let me have any comments or suggestions or any questions. Just email me or leave some comments and I'll be very happy to come back to you. So thank you for being here. I hope you've enjoyed it and I'll see you again next week. Thank you. Bye bye.